Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Spawn Trap Podcast, the only podcast that is not thirsting after Gemma from the Monster Hunter Wilds. Okay, that's a lie, we are. I am Till. I am joined by Lumi, the voice of Lumi.
Hello, everyone. Can I also say I have not played? I think I'm the only person who has not played Monster Hunter Wilds yet.
You know who Gemma is, though.
No.
She's the hot one from the trailer that everybody's going nuts over.
Okay, then yes, I do know.
I'll see if I can pull it up. How are you? How have you been?
I've been good, other than being sick all week. Work has been busy, but I mean, I've been pretty good. How about you?
I've been pretty good too. Um,
Good.
yeah, I don't know, just been busy focusing on stressful stuff right now. Here's Gemma. Oh, I guess we got two pictures of Gemma.
Uh,
Why is that?
I see it.
Okay.
I see it. Yep, I can see it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely thirsting.
I have not been playing Monster Hunter Wilds, but I'm aware of
I
this
have.
character. Oh my god, we're in a loop here. I'm in a loop. I'm
Yay,
trapped.
loopholes. We love loopholes.
What have you been playing, Lumi?
So I have been playing. I just started playing Repo. I've been playing that with Taco and
Oh,
his friend. Repo's so
that's
fun.
that's that multiplayer game, right?
Yeah, do you have it?
No. I've seen clips though. I swear, like every couple months, there's a new one of these games that look slightly the same and
Yeah,
have like the same sort of like concept. I'll see if I can pull up a
yeah.
video.
It's very like it's very Among Us-y kind of,
Hmm.
but also very Lethal Company. Um, I don't know. Yeah, it's like a mix of like a lot of games, but it's so fun.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Oh, I don't know. Sorry. This is from I don't know what channel this is. I'm sorry. I'm stealing your video. Oh, is this like a developer? Oh yeah, this is Repo Devs. Okay. I can actually see there's these characters. I'm sure you've seen these
Yeah.
characters show up on social media.
Yes.
Yeah. I
I love
yeah.
I love that they in game chat their mouth moves as you're talking. It's like my favorite thing in
Oh,
the whole game.
okay.
It's so
That's
fun.
awesome. Yeah, I've barely played many of those games that have come up recently. Like what was the one that you said earlier? It was like more like a
Um,
horror game, I think too.
um, it was a horror game.
I think so. There's one where you're trying to like I don't know, I feel like you're on an oil rig or something. There's another one where like you're trying to make like you're like a YouTuber trying to make content or something. Um
Oh my gosh, wait. I feel like I know what you're talking about. Why don't I remember?
I don't know. There's a whole bunch of these multiplayer ones though. Court has
Yeah,
been
yeah.
asking me, like bugging me every time one of these gets released to play. It's just like, yeah, it looks like it could be fun. It's like it's not my kind of game at all. But like
Yeah.
it looks like
I
it could be
feel
fun for like a Twitch thing, but it's just like I don't know how much time and money I want to invest in that, you know?
definitely. Well, I mean it's like I think it's $10. I was able to get it for using a gift card, thankfully,
Hmm.
but it's definitely one of those games that I feel like it will be popular for a good amount of time and then eventually just like fall off.
Yeah, there's gonna be a new thing. I saw something on the Future Game Show yesterday, which I watched. And there was another one of those like it looked like Rainbow Six Siege if it was a kids game. Because it was like very cartoony and very like Fortnite-esque. They had
Mhm.
they had like one uh clip where like a bird was pooping on some characters as like the
Uh,
multiplayer thing, and I'm like, this could be a hit, like, cause like you make anything but more like kid meme friendly than it could be popular like Fortnite was. So I'm like, I don't know. I
Oh
don't
my
remember
god.
the name of the game.
I'm so
Uh,
oh, you know what?
hmm,
The game that I think you were talking about, is it Still Wakes the Deep? The one with the oil rig?
maybe I don't know.
Yeah, well, I
All
did
these
try to
games blend together to me.
yeah. That one is actually apparently really good, but I could not get past it just because I can't really do horror like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, pretty good apparently.
I've started Assassin's Creed Odyssey because I'm very much behind. I have not played Shadows. Shadows though has been getting like 8s and 9s and stuff in like every review outlet I've seen, so that's awesome to see.
hmm hmm
But I'm enjoying Odyssey so far. Everybody, I picked Cassandra, and everybody wants to hit on Cassandra. Like every person I talk to, like, why don't we just like forget this mission and like go to my place? And I'm just like, hey, I gotta, I gotta
Like, yeah,
deal with this shit going on. There's like war and stuff happening.
I got missions to complete.
Other than that, I don't know. I just recently started like looking at games on like what games are. I'm like looking at like game preservation stuff like that. I'm just like looking at what games are available still for
Mhm.
PS3 and Vita before like all that stuff disappears eventually. So I just bought Little Big Planet for my Vita.
Oh,
This was $15, and there's not much that's still available. A lot of stuff gets delisted. So
have you heard of there was a game they were talking about I think it won awards at the Game Awards. It's called Until Then. I started playing that as well.
until
And so
then.
far it's really, really good. So far. It's kind of like it's just storyline. And you just like it's like choice of like what you say to people and stuff, connecting. But it's all just like a story.
This game broke
So
me.
far it's really, really good.
Is it like so it looks like it's pixel
Yeah,
kind of graphics?
very pixelated.
Is it a again, I can't see what channel this is. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
But is it like a visual novel kind of thing?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah, good so far.
Um
Hmm.
yeah. So that's fun. I haven't really been playing too much else. I don't think nothing that like stands out to me in my mind. Um but there's been one thing I've been looking forward to as somebody who's getting into retro games and looking at all that stuff lately. I am very disappointed to see that the Analog 3D, which is their 4K N64 clone console, has been delayed. I was expecting it any moment now because they said Q1
Yep.
2025. So I'm upset.
Oh
Was
man.
hoping to
Wait.
play this before the Switch 2. I gotta wait.
Oh wow. Wait, how
Uh,
come I didn't hear about this at all?
So this was
Did-
announced at the end of 2024. Um, and actually, it wasn't announced. It was teased like way before then, and the company went silent. And then they're like, "Hey, we're doing pre-orders now, and it's going to be released Q1 2025." So I'm like, "Cool." I kind of regret not getting the Analog Pocket, which is like their Game Boy console that a lot of people went nuts over, but got like delayed because that's when like COVID started. That's when all those shipping problems started. So it was delayed for like such a long time. People finally got it, and
Uh,
they've been talking about like how great it is because it plays like every Game Boy game, like the physical cartridges. It plays. It's now been modded, so you can just load in whatever ROMs. But they also have adapters. You can plug in other kinds of game cartridges into it. It has a docking station, so you can kind of use it like a home console too. Um, so I kind of regret not getting that. And then they announced this, and at the time I was like, I'm like getting into N64 and building a collection. So I'm like, I'm kind of excited about this. So I'm like, I don't want to regret it. Analog like sells out of products, and then they just don't sell new ones for a long time, or if ever. So I'm like, I might as well just pre-order this now.
yeah.
And and now I got to deal with tariffs. So
That's that sucks.
I know. Um, but yeah, this is just it just plays N64 games, 4K resolution. Supposedly, there's no like video footage or anything, so I gotta kind of like take company's faith on this. There's an 8-bit Do controller they're releasing as well. I've got there's no pictures of it. There's just this little tiny picture right here. Um, I got so many like N64 alternate controllers that I don't want or need this, so I didn't
Mm.
get the controller. Um, But yeah, I'm looking forward to my N64 games not looking like garbage on my TV.
That would be so interesting. I'm actually
Yeah,
really excited. I wonder if we still would have to blow on the cartridges.
probably. Yeah, there's probably like if the cartridges are dirty, but you're not really supposed to blow on them. You're supposed to clean them with like proper like alcohol and everything. But
Ah.
but we all blow
Well,
on them.
I'm glad that I kept all my games then.
Yeah, yeah. Um, what do you want to talk about? We were supposed to talk about The Last of Us season 1. Every
Uh,
single person had to. That was the last week. Every single person had to cancel for different reasons.
I was so disappointed. I really wanted to talk about the season because I mean
I
it's
know.
been we haven't done it.
I know. Season 2 is happening very soon. That's why I wanted to do it now.
Yeah.
Um, but we'll hold off on that. We'll talk
Mhm.
about that hopefully soon. We're trying to figure that out. Um, well, yeah. What do you want to talk about today?
Well, I did want to get more clarity on Xbox apparently trying to get Ubisoft's IP.
Yes. I'm going to pull that up here. There's a lot of stuff there's a lot of stuff in the news about Ubisoft lately. I feel like we talked about it before. I mean, a lot of stuff has been like overshadowed by Activision Blizzard. But with Ubisoft, there's whole like bad working environment and all that stuff. The CEO being kind of like garbage person, but ultimately, the biggest issue right now is that they're not doing well financially,
Yeah.
and Assassin's Creed Shadow being a hit is kind of like a big deal and important for them because the Star Wars game wasn't that hit, the Avatar game wasn't that hit, and it's not looking great for the company. The rumor is that they're looking to sell to Tencent. So, um, like I out of all the companies I want to acquire Ubisoft, Tencent is not it, but I kind of get why that's happening.
Hmm.
But at the same time, Xbox has been like acquiring everybody they can to the point where they got into legal trouble with it last time. And I don't think they're looking to do that again, get in such a legal battle. But they're at least looking to acquire some of Ubisoft's IP, intellectual property, which means their game franchises. Um, so I it's interesting because I don't think it really states what they're looking to acquire. I would assume they're interested in Assassin's Creed at least.
Yeah, that would be big.
But I don't know. I would kind of like to have that discussion. Like, what do we think Xbox is interested in from Ubisoft? I feel like they would be after like their biggest franchises, maybe ones
Definitely,
that they haven't really been producing any titles for, but fans have been wanting.
definitely, definitely not Star Wars. I would say, especially because of
It's also
um
not their
how this.
IP.
Well,
That's
yeah,
Disney's.
Disney. So yeah, I mean, definitely Assassin's Creed.
Do we think Rayman?
Mm, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm like iffy on that too. I'm like, I don't know if they want Rayman. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like maybe, I feel like maybe Beyond Good and Evil. It's like Ubisoft keeps saying they're working on that sequel, but there's been like no progress, and like maybe Microsoft's like, there's enough of a fan interest in this that we could acquire it.
What other big names does Ubisoft have?
They got Tom Clancy.
That yeah, Tom Clancy.
Tom Clancy's the big one.
But I don't know about I don't know about Tom Clancy.
Well, like it's really like Sam Fisher and the whole um was it not like Ghost Recon, but Splinter Cell.
Mhm.
Splinter Cell is like the big one that people keep asking for and they're not getting.
Oh, yeah.
Off the top of my head though, what other Ubisoft games? I'm not 100%. I used to play like a ton of Ubisoft games, and now it's just like I
Oh,
don't
there's
know.
Far.
Far Cry, yeah, Far Cry is a big one.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe Assassin's Creed, maybe Far Cry. Rayman, I'm not sure.
I
Hmm,
feel like I don't know. Like this article, I don't think it says anything, right?
not really.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. If we have to guess, like other than Assassin's Creed, I'm not too sure. I imagine Xbox wants to like focus on like the big ones that they know is guaranteed to be a hit if they acquire that intellectual property. Um, but they might just like say like you can deal with the rest, sell off the rest to Tencent or whatever. But it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see if like Assassin's Creed becomes an Xbox game.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I would probably play it then because I have not played any of the Assassin's Creed just because I don't have a PlayStation.
Well, I mean the games are multi-platform, so you can play them on anything. Um,
Oh.
but like I'm playing Odyssey on an Xbox right now. It's actually on Game Pass. I think a lot of their games are on Game Pass.
Oh.
If you have Ubisoft Plus, their subscription service, I think you can also play it on PlayStation. Um, but can I just say like Ubisoft Plus and EA Play seem like the biggest like subscription scams out of all of them. Just the
Why?
amount of money that they are for like one company's IP. Like compared to Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, like all the other ones,
Mm.
those two are like you can play just our games, but not all of them. And sometimes we'll delist a bunch of them. And also we're going to keep increasing the price and we're not going to release new games for like another like 6 months. I'm like
Yeah.
why is that so much money for like very little in return?
Oh my god. I did hear that oh my god, who's the distributors for Marvel Rivals? I don't know who they are, but they're pretty good with their whole like in-game um purchases and stuff as far as like battle passes go. They're pretty good. But yeah, I've heard a lot of
Yeah.
Ubisoft Plus.
Marvel Rivals is the it says the developers NetEase. I don't think the developers actually NetEase. I know that's the original publisher because they got taken
Hmm.
down during the TikTok ban because
Hmm.
they were part of the same company um as the company that owns TikTok. Uh but they're looking at like there's like a different publisher that that's going to be publishing their games going forward because they don't want to worry about that issue again. The
Hmm.
actual developer can find the I don't know, even Wikipedia is saying NetEase. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but they seem to be doing a good job with Marvel Rivals for sure.
Yeah.
Um Speaking of Xbox, I just saw this right now, and this seems like a kind of like a no duh article, but
Hmm.
Xbox is seemingly hard at work on backwards compatibility for the next Xbox consoles. Um, I don't think that's a
Okay.
surprise because they've been doing that since Xbox 360, right?
Yeah, they have.
They even have like a new team um, that was set up during the leadership changes
Hmm.
with like Sarah Bond becoming the new president and everything.
Hmm.
Um, so this is basically like Xbox backwards compatibility games going forward, like Xbox games now being backwards compatible for future hardware.
Hmm.
Um, I would imagine that's always going to be a priority for them, and it seems like they're the only company that's worried about that. It's
Yeah.
like Nintendo's just like, yeah, you can like get our games on a subscription model, and PlayStation's like, yeah, you can just like buy it again and don't worry about old games, just buy the new games.
Like, oh my god, they're the worst
I
when
know,
it comes. Oh god.
but yeah,
I think when did they stop with backwards compatibility? Because I know PS2 you could play PlayStation games. In the PS3, were you able to play anything before then?
if you had the launch model PS3, you can play
Hmm.
PS1 and PS2 games. It was a hardware emulation. It was able to do that. Later versions of the system, they still kept the backwards compatibility through software emulation. So it kind of handled the games a little bit differently, but for the most part, it's backwards compatible. I think all the models going forward, I don't think
Hmm.
had any backwards compatibility at all. I'm not too sure. I can test PS1 games out on my PS3 that I bought at a thrift store and see if it
Huh.
works. Um, but as far as I know, it was those early model PS3s.
Hmm.
Um, then the key, if we're looking at handhelds as well, the Vita was backwards compatible with some digital PSP games, not the actual discs.
Hmm.
PS4, that's when that all cut out. So it's just PS4 games. PS5 can play most PS4 games. Anything else that you want to play from previous consoles, you have to buy a new digital license or you have to pay a subscription. Um, so yeah, that's how they're doing that.
Hmm.
PS3 games specifically on the PS5,
Hmm.
you can only, I think, only cloud stream through their subscription service, like the premium one. I might be
Hmm.
wrong on this because it's been a while, but I think the last I heard they were looking at removing that limitation and making it run on the console without streaming.
Hmm.
Um, I from what I understand, the problem is that the PS3's architecture was so different compared to everything else that it's really hard to emulate that
Hmm.
stuff. Don't think that's true
Yeah.
anymore because PS3 emulation on PCs and handhelds and stuff, it has made significant progress and it actually runs pretty decently. So I don't think that's really an excuse anymore. I feel like they can figure it out. So
Hmm.
if other people can figure it out and they don't have the rights and the access to these games like PlayStation does, I'm sure they can figure it out.
Hmm. Yeah.
What else? Oh, speaking of handhelds and Xbox, Xbox has been teasing that they want like an Xbox handheld, and it looks like we might be getting some news on that. Uh, there might be an Asus Xbox branded handheld later this year,
Ooh, I love that.
just in time to compete with the Switch 2. By the way, there's going to be a Nintendo Direct for on April 2nd. I don't know if you will be available, but
April
I will.
2nd. Uh,
It'll be on a Wednesday,
oh shoot, it
early
depends what time.
morning, 9
Shoot, I will
a.m.
be. Oh wait. April 2nd?
Yeah,
Stop. I'm off that day. So I might be
okay,
available if I don't have jury duty because I have jury duty all of April.
that sucks.
Yeah. If I don't get called in, I will be down because I will be taking off work that day.
All right, cool. So I feel like it's just early enough for Court to maybe make it too. So I'm like messaging her, but I don't know because it's a weekday. It's early in the morning. She does not like either of those things. I don't think. I don't know if she likes weekdays. I know she doesn't like early mornings. Um, so
Does
we'll
she
see.
love Nintendo?
Does she love what?
Does she love Nintendo?
She does. So she might make an exception. It's like, oh, it's the Switch 2. I need to see what this is. So we'll
Mhm.
see. Um, But yeah, this is exciting too. There was also a UI leak. I don't have that loaded up here, but there's like a UI leak that happened that they like accidentally posted this week and then took down quickly.
Mhm.
That seemed to have a tab or a section for Steam games. So it looks like that might
Ooh.
be related to this.
You know
But
what's interesting is I'm on a news article that said Microsoft just leaked an Xbox interface mockup which has Steam game integration.
that's what it is. Yeah. Um,
Interesting.
I feel like that could be something like this because the rumor is that it's going to run Windows.
Mhm.
So I imagine you can have like your Steam library. I mean, Steam library also works on Linux, but Microsoft doesn't make Linux products. They're going to be
Yeah.
developing something that's Windows based. Asus makes Windows based devices as well. I think their ROG Ally. I think it has Windows on it. I don't think it's a Linux handheld. So yeah, I imagine that like maybe Phil Spencer like really liked the Ally and he went to Asus and said, "Hey, can we make like an Xbox version of this that has like
Hmm.
these key like requirements that we're looking for like a handheld?" And that might happen this year. So interesting.
Interesting.
If there's an Xbox handheld, do you think you would get one?
Most definitely.
Yeah,
I feel like if I did have one, I could finally finish all the games that I started and never finished. Just because,
that's
I
true.
don't know, I feel like I find it easier to just get on my PC and just play games on Steam than it is to like boot up my Xbox now. I don't know. But if I had a handheld, oh my gosh, at my lunch break, I could just be playing Xbox. Are you kidding me? Hell yeah.
Have you ever had any interest in like the Steam Deck and stuff?
I do have a Steam. Well, my brother has a Steam Deck, and
Okay.
I've only mostly used it just to emulate games. That's it.
Yeah, that's what it'd be using it for. Um, no, yeah. I don't. I'll have to see what it is because I do like my gaming handhelds. I don't know how much of an Xbox handheld I would want, to be honest. I mean, I have my phone. My phone handles like the Xbox Cloud stuff.
Mm,
Um, but it would be nicer just to play it natively on the device, I guess. So maybe we'll see.
yeah,
That is where most of my library is. It's on the Xbox, so I'd be playing most of my games on there.
yeah. So you said they're trying to release around the same time as Nintendo the Switch 2?
I don't know when the Switch 2 is launching. That's the thing. We'll probably find out on April 2nd, but the rumor is it's going to be launching in the middle of May.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
you know, happy birthday to me. So,
Yay.
um
Oh,
yeah, I think it's going to be I think it's going to pass the Switch. I think the Switch is going to launch first. I don't know
mhm.
if Xbox necessarily wants to have a launch alongside the Switch, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if they would really want to compete with that. I think launching it later in the year after the Switch launch has settled, they're looking around the holiday season, it might be more of an enticing offer to get the Xbox handheld, especially if it's the newer thing that people are talking about.
Yeah, especially because it'll be their first. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. What else we have that we could talk about?
Let's
Uh,
see.
we talk about one thing with like speaking of Nintendo. Um,
Mhm.
there was FCC filing showing that the Switch 2 is going to have NFC and Wi-Fi 6. Not really exciting news. Um, however, Nintendo internet sucks. It's terrible. So having Wi-Fi 6 is nice. I know
Yeah.
it's not the latest technology, but it is, it's still newer enough. Like the Xbox doesn't even have Wi-Fi 6.
Mhm.
Um, so that's nice. I'm hoping the dock has a built-in Ethernet port. That's a lot of people complain about.
Mhm.
The NFC thing though is that's just for amiibos. I'm thinking.
Hmm.
So it looks like they're not giving up on amiibos yet.
Amiibos.
Those are the little figures. Do I have one on my desk?
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah, because on the right Joy-Con, like you can tap the amiibo on it, and then it does whatever the amiibos do in the game. Like for Zelda, you tap one, you get like a chest of items and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. How excited are you for the Switch 2?
I'm so here's the thing. It really depends on the games because like I said in the last podcast we had that where we talked about the Switch, it wasn't really enticing enough for me to like get it like release day.
Yeah.
I think it depends on. Did we ever find out which would be the game that would come out with the release?
No, but at this point, I'm assuming Mario Kart 9.
Mm. I do love Mario Kart, but I don't know if I definitely won't be getting it release day. I don't think so. But I will
I
eventually be getting.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It would depend what kind of game is coming out. Yeah, maybe if they had
It.
like Super Smash Bros. Deluxe Ultimate. Wait, was it it's Super Smash Brothers Ultimate is the game title? They had a
Yeah.
deluxe version of Ultimate that had like new characters and stuff. Then maybe, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's
And
happening.
again, I think what would what would definitely make me grab the Switch is if we got another 3D Mario. I think that would be the game changer for me.
If that was launching with the Switch too,
Mm.
um, I feel like 90% I'm going to be buying it launch day.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
if if not, if they're saying like yeah, it's going to come out later, I'm like I'll just wait for the game to come out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel honestly I haven't played Mario Kart since like probably the second game. Like I have not really played Mario Kart.
The one
Um,
for N64?
yeah, that's it. Like I feel like that was the last one. Um, yeah, but I've played like all of the 3D Mario's. So.
You have Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack. We could play
Yeah.
Mario 64 online.
Ooh, yes.
Uh, well, we talked about Xbox and Nintendo and Ubisoft. I have one other story about Ubisoft here, but um, we want to talk about PlayStation.
Let's talk about PlayStation.
Uh, this is a more recent news thing. Um, this Sony is experimenting with AI PlayStation characters. Have you seen this?
No.
There's like a leaked video of an AI Aloy from Horizon Forbidden West, and
Oh.
she's just like responding to what the person is saying. And from what I understand, it seems like Gorilla was not. Oh yeah, no, shoot, it's right here. This is just a prototype that has been developed alongside Guerrilla Games to demonstrate the technology internally at Sony. That's kind of that's kind of gross that Guerrilla's a part of this. But um the voice actor for Aloy, Ashley Birch, is saying that she's like extremely concerned, but she doesn't
Mhm.
think she's losing her job. She doesn't think Gorilla's making Aloy to be fully AI, right? And
Mhm.
anything. This is just to like demonstrate. This is just like an example to demonstrate technology internally at Sony. Doesn't think anything like bad is happening to it, but she is extremely concerned about this stuff. Um, I'm paraphrasing. I did watch the whole video and she posted up. It's on her. I know it's on her Instagram and TikTok. If you want to see that,
Mhm.
she did make a response to this story because everybody has been asking her. Um, I just think it's extremely ironic that they chose this character because I don't know if you know anything about the Horizon games,
No.
but it's very anti this. it's
Oh
it's
my
very
god.
it's like the most ironic thing that they could choose was Aloy for this project.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's just
Uh,
incredible. I'm like, what? This is like, like PlayStation is just not paying attention to the IP that it owns and the games that their developers are making at all.
like for real though.
Yeah,
That is what's actually concerning. Well, actually, it's all concerning, but
yeah.
yeah, what in the world?
I'm hoping this is like some sort of um remnant project from when Jim Ryan, man who famously loves his cats more than women's rights, was taking over and trying to implement a whole bunch of AI and live service stuff. But I don't know. This is kind of creepy and concerning.
Yeah. The state of the world we live in.
Yeah, I know. I think speaking of AI, I don't know if you've been following like the voice actor strike that's going on.
I haven't heard about it.
It's
Um,
still going on.
yeah.
I have two stories. I'm trying to see like which one's newer here. Oh, one was posted.
I think you posted one on the 19th.
Okay, this is very new. Okay, let's start here. SAG-AFTRA actors strike set to continue. This was on March 12th, or that's when it was last updated. As unions warn of alarming loopholes for AI abuse in latest proposal. That's the whole thing. This is why the strike is continuing, because this is like expanded upon the actor strike and writer strike from a year ago,
Mm.
where video game voice actors are not getting that same sort of assurances on AI use for their work. So right now, voice actors in video games are on strike for this reason because they're not getting that guarantee that AI is not going to replace their jobs.
Mhm.
This is update. Negotiators on behalf of video game companies bargaining with SAG-AFTRA have responded to news of continuing actor strike. We have proposed a deal that includes wage increases of over 15% for SAG-AFTRA represented performers in video games, as well as enhanced health and safety protections, industry-leading terms of use for AI digital replicas in game, and additional compensation for the use of actors' performance in other games. Wrote Audrey Cooling, spokesperson for the Video Game Producers Party, to the Interactive Media Agreement. I would like to know what uh what video game companies are part of that.
Yeah.
Um, we have made meaningful progress and are eager to return to the bargaining table to reach a deal. I mean, I feel like at some point this is gonna stop. Like there's probably gonna be some sort of um compromise, but
Hmm.
I'm hoping like ultimately the actors get what they want. Um,
Well,
Yeah, so it says that the original story was the strike is set to continue as the union behind the walkout warned of an alarming loopholes allowing for AI abuse in the latest proposal to end the industrial action, suggesting a deal is far from close. Um, if we could find like a quote here. Uh, So, though progress has been made and agreements have been reached on certain provisions since we launched the strike last year, the last proposal at the bargaining group made is still filled with alarming loopholes that will leave our members vulnerable to AI use. The union recently submitted a counter to this proposal that diligently addresses all of the loopholes and would result in a contract that offers the minimum protections our members need in order to maintain sustainable careers as video game performers. The bargaining group would have you believe that we are close to reaching a deal. This is not the case. They are hoping our members will turn on each other. Doesn't say what those loopholes are. So I'm wondering what that means. Um,
does it say in that article who the bargaining groups are?
No, I don't think so. As far as I can see.
So, in this article that I'm seeing, it shows that the bargaining groups um, contain representatives from firms like Activision, Blindlight, Disney Character Voices, EA, Formosa Interactive, Insomniac Games, Llama
mhm.
Productions, and WB Games.
Yeah, those are some major
Yeah.
uh video game production companies. Um, some of them aren't really the publishers though. Some of those ones you listed are development teams within a larger publisher. Like
Yeah.
for
So, like this.
example, Insomniac. Like why I'm kind of like surprised Insomniac because they make story-driven games
Hmm.
that, you know, rely on the performance of the voice actor for it to
Hmm.
be good. So it's very concerning that they're not they're part of this group that's like pushing back against the workers for use of AI in their games. Well, hopefully there is progress on that. It seems like both sides disagree on the level of progress that's happening. From what I understand, the voice actors, if you see them promoting a game that they're in, hopefully it does not mean that they're scabs.
Yeah.
And it just means that the company that they worked with is not part of this group of companies that they're fighting for rights in this industry. It means that they've actually um, committed to the demands that they were asking for, and it's just these holdouts that are preventing all that. So if you see that they are part of a game but they're not promoting it, that's why. It means that they've worked on it before the strike. It's being released, but they're not allowed to promote it because of the union. So,
Hmm.
and what was the new one I have? Yeah, SAG-AFTRA is still frustratingly far apart from big game studios. That's probably the one that you were looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a shame.
But I'm with you with wanting to know what the loopholes are.
Yeah, because it's like because that seems like where the contention is. It's the person representing all the publishers saying that, hey, we've made all these assurances and we think we're making great progress. Whereas the union says, no, we've noticed these loopholes and that's very concerning. So I'm
Hmm.
kind of like wondering like what did they notice? What are those loopholes in the contract? Um Speaking of AI, I don't know if you've seen this. I'm gonna actually try to find the pictures here. Uh have you noticed these pictures on your social media?
I have not.
Because I noticed them on mine. I noticed a specific one, not these ones. But I mean, I did notice these ones afterward, but I noticed a specific one that I don't think is in this article. Um, there was one for Guitar Hero. It said Guitar Hero Mobile. Do you recall ever seeing that?
No.
Okay, so Activision has been posting advertisements on social media
Hmm.
for games that like for IP that they own, like
Hmm.
a mobile version of those games. The games do not exist. So they lead you to a store page that like some sort of like third party store page that says buy now. These are actual Activision ads. And then that link leads you to a page that says thank you for your interest. This game is not actually a game, but it could be when we would like your feedback like based on like what you clicked on.
What?
I know. And I'm like, that is so scummy. The other thing, though, is
Oh,
that these images promoting this obvious use of generative AI.
obvious.
Yeah. The
Oh my
Guitar
god.
Hero one I saw was it's like it looked weird. All of the band members were playing guitar. And the notes were not the consistent like colored notes for Guitar Hero. I think they're all like purple and blue.
Oh my.
So I'm like, what is this? I clicked on it just out of curiosity. I'm like, because I think it said Activision. I'm like, this is something that Activision is posting. It says Guitar Hero Mobile. This does not look like Guitar Hero. And I'm not aware of a mobile version of Guitar Hero that like Activision. I know like clone ones, like people like pretending to be Guitar Hero that look similar to this. So I'm like, is this like somebody like faking, like pretending to be Activision for like clicks and stuff?
Yeah, like how could it be a legit company is posting up fake video game pictures?
Yeah. Even like Crash Bandicoot Brawl. This is like a fighting game for Crash Bandicoot characters, and these are
What?
all not even like all like who are these characters? It's like a multiverse Crash Bandicoot fighting game,
No, yeah, and of course it's AI because why would they have their employees spend time
making a
making
mock-up image of a game that doesn't
fake
exist.
games? Yeah.
Like look at this, Call of Duty Zombie Defender.
It doesn't even look like a Call of Duty game.
No,
Oh my god.
it doesn't. Yeah, and it's Call of Duty Sniper
Oh
that
my god.
has. I think this image looks like I think they stole from a Rainbow Six cover.
Oh yeah, it definitely looks. Oh my god. My God.
So yeah, this is insane and disgusting, and like I couldn't believe it when I saw the ad, and then I started seeing like articles on it. I'm like, holy shit. Uh,
That is so scummy. Like,
yeah,
what is the point?
I don't, I guess the point is to gain interest. This is so this is Tom Phillips from Eurogamer. Activision social media posts advertising new entry in Guitar Hero series is market research for a game that doesn't exist and is not meant to be an actual announcement. The fake advert has been dubbed AI slop, which is purely generated. I I wonder if this leads to the Guitar Hero image because it's so bad. Yeah, here it is. This is the ad that I saw.
God, they all have guitars.
They all have guitars, and the notes are like, what the fuck are these notes?
Where are the drummers? Like,
There is no drummer. There's a drum set, maybe. It looks like a pile of um, like I don't know, rubble that's been melted. Like it's some sort of like fused together Terminators that have been melted down.
oh my
There you
God.
go. Yeah, Guitar Hero Mobile. It's so bad.
Oh, it's so bad. I
Anyway,
can't.
yeah, I don't know the yeah to gauge interest in new mobile games. That's all it is. It's gets just see like people are interested.
Honestly, would you be interested in a Guitar Hero mobile? Because I feel like I would be.
Yes, that defeats the purpose though. I don't like going about this research this way. It's so disgusting.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would be interested in a Crash Bandicoot fighter too.
God.
I just like fucking pay people. Like what?
Yeah. Oh,
Ugh.
seriously. I
I
can't.
anyway, there's also another one here. Like we get like this is just non-stop at this point. French Apex Legends voice cast refuses contracts over unacceptable AI clause. We are asked to shoot ourselves in the foot. We are asked to support AI, the actor says.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, this is an article on gamesindustry.biz.
Mm.
Um, so before being even called in for a recording session of a video game, the studio sent me and the 31 other voice actors in the casting a mail containing an annex of confidentiality and handover directly to the publisher. That's gross. I needed to accept the terms before being able to go to work. I thought so when I read through the legal experts socialized in the audiovisual confirmed it, these terms weren't acceptable. I was now forced to give up the role I had been working on for almost 6 years. In no way could I force the rest of the casting members to do the same, but one thing was certain: if we all refused, it could maybe have an impact. Otherwise, it would have been in vain.
Yeah.
Um, and without hesitation, all 32 cast members declined their contracts and wrote a collective letter of refusal to the publisher, widely considered to be EA.
Mm,
So good on them.
yes.
This is really shitty, and yeah, this is the thing that SAG-AFTRA is fighting for. Union rights for voice actors to prevent this kind of thing from happening, and I hope there is some protection for this stuff, because they're just going like as soon as this technology has been introduced, publishers have just been going all in as fast as they can to replace jobs.
Anything to save a buck, you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, they're doing it with the people making their games. They're
Yeah.
they're just laying off people left and right, um,
Mm,
for mistakes and like um, over expectations from the industry boom from the pandemic and the honestly expected downfall of that when things went back to normal, and them just not seeing, hey, we're not making the same profit we were during when everybody was sick. Now let's lay
mm,
everybody off because I still want bonuses for my boat. Um,
mm, yeah. Uh,
um, I have a few things here, but anything that you in particular you want to talk about next that's more positive?
Sorry, I had to clear my throat. um, let me see. I can't think of anything.
Uh,
Uh,
okay. I can just go one by one until we want to stop.
sure.
I mean, I only have a couple things left, and we can just end it there. Um, a big thing for me that I was looking forward to. Warner Brothers cancels the Wonder Woman game, and
Oh,
they got rid of the Shadow of Mordor studio, Monolith, right? Yeah, Monolith Productions. They just got rid of that studio. That seems super excited to launch this game. Everybody involved seemed like super excited and hyping up this game. And
wow.
this is the studio that made like a famous, um, like not generative AI, but an actual like AI system, that is like sought after, but it's like proprietary tech for Warner Brothers now. They refuse to like have anybody else use it. Called it was yeah, it was introduced in Middle Earth: Shadow of War. I don't know if this article goes into that, but it's basically like they put it in that game, and it was like so well received. Like, oh my god, so many games can use this.
Mhm.
And it was just never used in anything ever again.
What?
And so it's like Warner Bros. Is just sitting on this tech that is just being wasted.
Wow.
Um,
So, what was the reason for canceling?
Warner Brothers has been canceling things left and right. Don't know.
Okay.
The yeah, the I mean, even not even just in games, like movies, TV. There's like Batgirl, the Wile E. Coyote thing, the Scooby Doo
Yeah.
thing that's been in the news. Also, they are a company. Warner Brothers is part of that group that you mentioned. Um, that is fighting for use of AI to
Mhm.
replace voice actors and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, just not only that, they're want to push like live service stuff and all this garbage. That's why they push heavily on Suicide Squad,
Mhm.
but like didn't care about Hogwarts Legacy, it seemed, until it got
Yeah.
released and was considered like the best game released that year, and was like such a huge success that now they want to recreate that success, but like Suicide Squad. They want to turn it into a live service game like Suicide Squad. And it's just like you're missing the point.
Yeah.
They want that ongoing revenue, um, even if it even if they don't see it's not going to be successful.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I think just the amount of money and work that went into this single player game, um, they just weren't interested in putting any more time and effort into it.
Mm. Oh, damn.
I know. I only have depressing news. I'm kind of upset. Why is it all
Well,
depressing?
the gaming industry is depressing right now.
It is kind of depressing right now.
We're on strike. We're getting
Yeah.
things canceled right. Like,
Or filing lawsuits. Speaking of, former Ubisoft executives stand trial in France accused of harassment.
here we go.
Yeah, three top Ubisoft employees have appeared in French court accused of harassing employees before their departure from the company almost 5 years ago. The trio includes Serge. I'm gonna butcher these names. Ubisoft's previous chief creative officer and right hand man to company boss Yves Guillemot, um, plus former VP and editorial and creative services Tommy Francois, and just game designer and director. I'm not gonna butcher everybody's names. All three deny sexually and psychologically harassing and humiliating employees during their tenures at the company up until they resigned or were dismissed in 2020. Um, this is this is stuff that was kind of appearing up in news uh last year, and I don't even know when the Activision stuff started with Xbox trying to acquire them. But this stuff was coming like up here and there. We didn't talk about it much because it was just all Activision focused, right? But Ubisoft has been caught up in this controversy too. And this guy, the CEO, is still around, and I don't understand, and I don't think he's going to be much anymore.
Mhm.
Because it sounds like they're trying to sell the company to Tencent, and he's not going to have like an important role anymore. He's just going to be like the guy who owns shares,
Mhm.
just like collects any money. But uh, yeah, I mean, ideally, I'd like Ubisoft just to be Ubisoft, and like this guy and all the other pieces of shit to leave. But it doesn't happen that way, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unless you're Xbox, and then you acquire them, and then the scumbag like Bobby Kotick leaves, he gets a big payday and appears on podcasts, and is probably, to be honest, going to probably go into politics.
Oh
he's
my god.
he's interested in buying TikTok, so
He,
he's
he
gonna
needs to
ruin
stay.
TikTok.
He needs to stay in his lane.
Honestly, at this point, I'm like, fine, buy TikTok, just like do whatever the fuck. I mean, nobody's people are gonna abandon it anyway. you know,
My
just
god.
stay.
Did you ever have a TikTok?
Yeah.
Did you delete it before the ban went in place, or
No, because I'm Canadian, and that was hilarious watching all the posts about
oh
people
yeah.
not being able to watch that stuff.
Honestly, before they even banned it, I quickly deleted all my stuff, and I just haven't re-downloaded it again. I could even re-download it after the ban was
Mhm.
like lifted. So I was like, okay, whatever. I don't even
Yeah, it's
want it
because
anymore.
it's removed from the stores, right?
Yeah, or something like that.
There's ways
So
to side load it, but it's like at this point, just get
it's not
rid of
even
it.
worth.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get rid of mine, just because I'm like I feel the addictive effect, right?
Uh,
And it's not I'm not po- I'm I am posting more now on it, like
mhm,
I'm posting Twitch clips and stuff.
mhm.
Um, but it was mostly like what are people saying now, and just like looking at my feed and shit. I'm just like this is just a waste of time, and I know it is, but like I can't stop, and it's just like I need to just remove it from my phone so it's not there.
Yeah.
And so I'll still post. I can upload from my PC. So I don't need the app on my phone. Um, and I'm not gonna be scrolling on my PC. So there's like there's a I keep teasing it to court. I'm like there's a piece of content I want to make with TikTok. She's sending me TikTok. She's like I'm not gonna send you anymore because I know you don't look at them. I'm like keep sending them to me. I want to I want to do like a specific thing, and then I'm just gonna like get rid of it, and then don't send me anything anymore after that. So
Gosh.
no, but
Yeah,
TikTok's terrible.
it is. It's
It
very easy to do on there. And Instagram too. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't even really been on Instagram much as far as like doom scrolling goes. So it's
I
nice. It's nice.
yeah I can't doom scroll on Instagram because Instagram discovered like the algorithm that I want to see. Whereas TikTok, I mean TikTok did to it effect, but they're like, oh, you want to doom scroll, right?
Mhm.
so so I mean TikTok is nice for having a platform where people can have their voice and and say stuff without they do some suppression, but it's different to how the other platforms do it. Where it's like weird, it just doesn't make sense half the time. And whereas any platform by Meta has specific things they're suppressing, which is just like completely obvious, and there's like evidence for that. But for me, they're like, "Oh, you want to see the game stuff? You want to see the Marvel stuff? We're just gonna show you that."
Mhm.
It's just like, okay, cool. I do have my other account where I'm seeing more of the political stuff,
Uh-huh.
but like I'm hanging out more on the gaming stuff. I'm like, this app's fun. I'm seeing more game clips. so, so I'm using Instagram a little bit more, but with the recent news like that they're um I don't know, they're going to be like not fact checking and stuff like that. I'm like, maybe I don't follow this platform that's, capitulating to Nazis, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't use the platform anymore. Same with TikTok, they're kind of like bending the knee to like the current administration, saying like, okay, well maybe maybe we should be posting more Nazi stuff. I don't know. Like I don't. I feel like maybe it's time to like abandon those platforms. But for the most part, it's like I need some way to tell people like what I'm doing. So
Yeah, that's the sad part.
yeah, we gotta have our podcast stuff somewhere.
Yeah,
So
that's how we get our out.
yeah. Anyway, do you want more depressing stuff, or do you want to
I was literally looking on Google to see happy gaming news.
happy gaming news? There's usually like what sucks missing the days of classic Twitter. There's always like some sort of funny trend that's going on that
Yeah.
we could have talked about, and now there's just like nothing. It's just like all doom and gloom. Um, this
Yeah.
I don't know if this one's doom and gloom. We could talk about this. There's a
Okay.
God of War TV show. There's TV shows for every like video game adaptations are on the rise, and you know what? Even the bad stuff, I'm just happy this is happening. Whatever.
Hmm.
But there's a God of War TV show in the works, and
Ooh,
it's not
I'm out.
even. You're out. Okay.
The 17th.
Never mind. We're not
Wait,
doing
what?
this. Oh, I thought you said you're out.
Oh
Okay.
no!
What did you say?
No, I was saying, when did this article become released? Because I haven't
Oh,
heard anything
I'll be honest.
about
Your
it.
Discord mic is like cutting in and out, so I
Oh, sorry.
don't know. um, this came out March 17th.
Oh, okay. So this is new. I'm surprised my brother hasn't told me anything about it.
Um, well, I mean, this has been like ongoing in the news, but so actually the show isn't out yet. It's it's coming out, but they already like greenlit a season 2. The show's not out yet.
Oh, they're ready.
They're
They're
ready.
ready. Ready.
They're ready. But in an interview,
They're
the
confident.
the showrunner said that he can't play the video games at all. He hasn't played the games and he's terrible at games. Where's the quote? Because it's
Oh
so
no.
bad. Like he
Who
thought this
was
was a good thing to say.
uh who were the people who made the game or made a show based off of a game and they also didn't play the games? Who was that? Oh, the people who did Halo, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So how is this a good idea?
Uh you know what works when you play the game and you're involved in the show development and then you release the show and it does very well and that show is called The Last of Us.
Yes.
um
And I will say Fallout as well.
Followed as well, yeah. Did the people who
It
worked on because was Todd Howard involved in that game, I think, right?
was, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to make it part of the canon of the game and everything too, right?
I feel like they've seen how good the shows that are based off of video games are doing right now, that they probably were like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's do 2 seasons so people don't fall off. But I don't know.
There's a story I didn't include in this, which is that um the likelihood of a third Last of Us game is not likely because they I guess they can't figure out the story and how the gameplay works and everything for that. Um, but the show that doesn't necessarily mean that there's not going to be more seasons of the show. I guess it seems like
Hmm.
they're focusing more on the show. But anyway, the interview for this God of War show. The quote is, right now I'm working on the adaptation of this video game called God of War that Amazon has ordered 2 seasons of, and they asked me to come in. I'm literally in the writer's room, and that's my new thing. Having not played video games since arcades in the 80s, the whole property is new territory for him. He admits to trying out God of War, but found the quick-fire action stylings of Kratos and his crusade against other mythical beings to have harsh learning curves. This is a quote. The controllers now press R1. Which one's R1? Oh, I'm dead. I can't quite get a hold of that.
He sounds like me when I transitioned from old classic games to Xbox 360 because I hadn't played anything after like PlayStation 2.
Oh, okay.
Um, so yeah, that sounds familiar.
That's interesting. I'm like thinking of my transition because the first thing I remember is using the gun to shoot ducks and gun hunt and duck hunt on the NES. And then my cousin having the Super Nintendo, so getting used to that traditional control style, like the modern buttons and everything.
Yeah.
Went from that to like my first home console was the N64. That's the one that
Mm.
I grew up on.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that controller though. 'Cause that was
Oh God.
that's fucked up. I will say though that that was the transition to like games in 3D and nobody having a standardized way of handling 3D games. So to this day, I use inverted control schemes for the camera because some games in that era used that control scheme and didn't have an option for you to change it. So I just
Mm-hmm.
my mind got used to it. Um, went from that to the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 2, and at that point I'm already used to that layout.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, by the time Xbox 360 comes out, PlayStation 3 and everything for these games, yeah, I would have gradually transitioned into that kind of um, gameplay style.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hot take. I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
but it is bad when you're like, I've been drawn into like adapt this thing that I have no clue about, and I'm not going to look into it and adapt it and why people like it. I'm just going to
Mm-hmm.
have my own interpretation on what I think it should be, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but there's a reason why they're making this adaptation on this game. And
Yeah.
there's people that the people that are going to be watching it, the people that want to sit down and be the viewers to make this thing make money
Mm-hmm.
are looking for a specific type of adaptation.
Yeah.
So you have to be in that mindset. So even if you're not a gamer, you haven't played those games, you have to do the research. You have to expose yourself to this. Even if you're not playing it, you're focusing on the story. That's what you're building this on.
Mm-hmm.
You have to watch playthroughs. You have to learn like the different outcomes and endings and stuff, and why there's a whole um following for this popular franchise
Mm-hmm.
rather than just jump in and say like, I don't know, I don't play games, I used to play pong, doop doop doo, like nobody's gonna give a shit, and they're gonna criticize it right away, which they are doing with this show.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
don't try to just focus on like fan service and stuff. Like actually take it seriously. Like you can either go the route of Fallout and Last of Us,
hmm
or you can go down the route of Halo and The Witcher, which we all know how The Witcher turned out.
I don't, please tell me.
So the first season of The Witcher was good. Like they followed the books.
hmm
Um and Henry Cavill, he was brought onto the show because he loved the books and he also loved the game. But then the writers started messing with the storyline because I think the writers they weren't even really big Witcher fans, or they didn't really play the games or read the books or anything. But Henry Cavill was a big fan, but he noticed how
yeah,
like he noticed where it was going, and that's why he decided to leave. And he's not going to be in the next season. So yeah, I mean that's what happens when you don't, you don't study the what you're working on, the games or the books or whatever. I don't know. We'll
yeah,
see.
no, I agree with that. um have you watched Twisted Metal?
Mm-mm.
Me neither. I'm just wondering like how faithful that is to the game because it doesn't seem like it, but I don't know. It seems like it's just like a completely new thing on its own. Uh, yeah, Last of Us season 2 starts in
April.
April.
Hmm.
Um,
I have
yeah,
yet to play the game.
the second game.
Yeah. Um, because it releases on PC in April. Um,
Oh, interesting.
yeah, I was supposed to borrow the game from a friend of mine, but that didn't happen. So I think I'm just gonna wait till it comes out on PC. I'm hoping it releases on PC before the show, but I don't
Well,
know.
when we probably have the release dates for both, right? Um,
I have.
um, PC release on Steam. So there's a Steam page. I have to put in a birthday. Uh, April 3rd. Yeah, so I think that's before the show.
Yeah, because the show's released on the 13th. Nice, so I have time. I just have to play that religiously for a few days.
It is longer than the first game, so
Oh
like
boy.
like don't expect like if it's the same length as the first game, I have time for the show because it is longer. There's basically like 2 acts of the game, and then they kind of like converge at the end.
Oh.
So so yeah, do with that what you will. Maybe look on like
Well,
how long to beat.com or something like that. Um, but it is. Are you playing? So you want to play the game before the show?
I do want to, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I can probably catch up. Like, even if I play, like, let's say the first act,
Hmm.
it would be at least like what, maybe 2 or 3 episodes
I will
of the
tell
show.
you that the show is not going to cover all of the game.
Okay.
So they're like only part of the game is going to be part of the show. The way that they're doing that, I don't know. So I don't know if you need to play half of the game and then stop, or I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you need to play sections of the game. you know,
Mm,
so I don't know
got
how
it.
they're splitting that up. Just the way the nature of the story of part two, they tell it in a very specific way that I don't know if they want to use that same way to tell that story in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's going to be interesting to see what the adaptation is for the show. But I am very much looking forward to it. I did like the second game. I know there's a lot of controversy in the second game. People hated it. I don't understand
Yeah.
why. I thought it was fantastic and I really liked it. So I'm definitely looking forward to season 2 of the show. Um,
I think just anti woke people, because a lot of people say that they love the gameplay. A lot of people say that they did not like the story.
yeah, but
So
even still, like the whole I hate this fucking word, man. The whole woke aspect of it, though, it's
mhm.
like that was in the first game, and it's just
Yeah.
like just because there's a little bit more of it in the second game, like really, like you love the first game, but you hate this one. Like, how can
Yeah.
you like justify that, right? And then I think it's, I think it's the ending, which I don't want to talk about because I don't want to spoil it, but I feel like people wanted a different type of ending for the character,
Hmm.
and I thought it was fine. I thought it was, you know, not everything has to have a storybook ending that
Hmm.
like how you envision it. This is a dark story, and this is a, like it's a dark world, and these are
Hmm.
dark characters. They have their own motivations. Doesn't always make sense, and it doesn't always. It's not always the right one, but that's like the human flaw, right?
Hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just looking forward to the show.
Yeah. I mean, if it's anything like the first season, it's gonna be good. Um, like, even my mom, who does not play video games, she hates zombie anything, zombie
Hmm.
shows, zombie movies. She loved The Last of Us, the first season, and she's gonna watch the second season. Like, it was that good. Like, it was just really good. If it's anything like the first season, then yeah, I'm excited.
Was it because of Pedro Pascal?
Actually, no, surprisingly not.
Okay.
They just I love the story, but yeah, I mean, I can't say I didn't watch it for him as well.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. So a lot to look forward to. Um, I feel like whenever we do whenever we do the next podcast, we're probably going to be talking about the show. Um,
Yeah,
but I'm just trying to think like there's Switch 2 happening. There's all this other stuff, so it's going to be an interesting month for gaming topics for sure.
most definitely.
Yeah. Anything else you want to end on? 'Cause we've been going for about an hour.
Um, hmm, not that I know of or
Okay,
can think of. Yeah.
we'll end it there then. Let us know what you thought of The Last of Us without spoilers in the
Mm-hmm.
comments down below if you're looking forward to season 2. If you're going to be getting Switch 2 on launch day, and what you're looking forward to playing coming up soon. Have a
Yes.
good one, everyone.
Bye, everyone.